Compromising my intellect for the internet, just in these goals, in the rows. How the fuck is nickel nine a yes man when 24/7 I stay in the know? Before I hold a grudge, I take a flight to Paris. Before I spill blood, I drink a pint of theirs. I don't age.
This ain't no shade, this ain't no flex. Just make sure you tune to the RBX. Say drop the jewels on the airways. Keep slipping like every single day. This ain't no shade, this ain't no flex. Just make sure you tune to the RBX. Say drop the jewels on the airways. Keep slipping like every single day. RBX. Yeah, just the RBX where you can sit back and catch a vibe at. But your mind gotta be open like a surgeon with a scalpel. Mixed with the tips that can help with the mental, also the spiritual, and even the physical. The way she break it down, you don't need a visual. Always keep it fair and also critical. Everything is clear, ain't no need for subliminals. Growth is essential. The love is not rental. You might be perplexed, but it's so simple. If you wanna know how you can interact, just hit the IG or the Glock or where it at. So come get involved. It don't even cost. Just hit the DM if you need to talk. So all my good people out there, stay blessed and make sure you tune in to the RBX. This ain't no shade, this ain't no flex. Just make sure you tune to the RBX. Stay and drop the jewels on the airways. Keep sitting like every single day. This ain't no shade, this ain't no flex. Just make sure you tune to the RBX. Stay and drop the jewels on the airways. Keep sitting like every single day. RBX.
I wasn't gonna do this, but I was gonna do it anyway. I can't help myself. I'm gonna do a little rant because it's been a little while, so I gotta, get back in the flow of things. I want to thank everybody. First of all, we've had a lot going on here at the G Shop. We just had a birthday for myself. Also, anniversary of the show. This is our 4th season here at Glockaware. I want to thank Glockaware for empowering us every Monday night, and it's been a journey here at Glockaware. Like, these folks have become my family, my friends, my family. This is like a second home for me, and I really appreciate y'all, man. I've been emotional. I'm emotional. I can't help it, but I already said, man, I'm gonna share that with you. I'm gonna share it all with you. I'm gonna run it back. I'm gonna run that intro right back. I want to thank H-Man for going ahead and doing that for me. Like I said, it's all brand new. It's all brand new this year. It's 2020, so we got 2020 vision. We have a lot of cool things going on. Took, let's take it right back. Gotta run that John back, the jingle back one more time. That shit's dope.
This ain't no shade, this ain't no flex. Just make sure you tune to the RBX. Say drop the jewels on the airways. Keep slipping like every single day. This ain't no shade, this ain't no flex. Just make sure you tune to the RBX. Say drop the jewels on the airways. Keep slipping like every single day. RBX. Yeah, just the RBX where you can sit back and catch a vibe at. But your mind gotta be open like a surgeon with a scalpel. Mixed with the tips that can help with the mental, also the spiritual, and even the physical. The way she break it down, you don't need a visual. Always keep it fair and also critical. Everything is clear, ain't no need for subliminals. Growth is essential. The love is not rental. You might be perplexed, but it's so simple. If you wanna know how you can interact, just hit the IG or the Glock or where it at. So come get involved. It don't even cost. Just hit the DM if you need to talk. So all my good people out there, stay blessed and make sure you tune in to the RBX. This ain't no shade, this ain't no flex. Just make sure you tune to the RBX. Stay and drop the jewels on the airways. Keep sitting like every single day. This ain't no shade, this ain't no flex. Just make sure you tune to the RBX. Stay and drop the jewels on the airways. Keep sitting like every single day. RBX.
I want to welcome you guys to the X Radio. This is the season premiere of the 4th season. And I have my girlfriend here, Cognac, with us tonight. Get close to my girl. You know how to do it. Listen, I hope this might be able to be a thing between us. You know, like we get along, we laugh. It's all good times, but we always serious. You know, serious in the sense of you know, life is what it is, and you gotta deal with it. You know, a lot of people just don't deal with it, and that's part of the mental health situation here. You know, you gotta. Sometimes you go ahead and you just say, listen, I don't want to deal with that right now, but at some point you got to deal with it. A lot of people self-medicate. We're going to have a show about that down the road. But yeah, we're here to deal with this stuff. And I thank you for being part of that situation.
I appreciate you for inviting me.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is my passion. This is what I do.
Yeah, absolutely. Why don't you tell folks a little bit about yourself if you feel up to it?
Okay, no problem. My name is Cognac. I am an advocate. I am an advocate for domestic violence. I am certified in mental health. Self-love is very important. Mental health is very important. It starts with self.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And today we're actually talking about, it's awesome that you're here. We're talking about how to combat self-doubt and talking about self-worth.
Right.
And I also, like I said, I want to go back and thank H-Man for doing that intro. I also have featured artist tonight, Anaya Mahogany. Like, she's one of those artists, man. Like, I had a star moment, and I don't do that. I've met some people that have traveled the world. They are legit stars. And this girl's local, and I don't take no shine away from her. She does her thing. Like, I really love her music. I love her voice. I love her spirit. She's just a dope person, and she's going to be in here. We're featuring her tonight as well, musically. So a lot of her songs have some themes that go along with mental health and self-wealth and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to get into that. We're also going to be on the line tonight with Weekend Movement and with Jake Danielson. He's calling in from Colorado, so we'll have him on the line as well. You can follow them on Instagram at we_can_movement. They also have a Facebook chat group. So if you're interested in that, they talk about depression and things that are going on within yourself and your community and those types of topics that you can get help with. So that's what we're here. We're here to do all that. We're here to just do all that. I'm excited. I can't even keep myself together. It's crazy. It's crazy, Cognac. Help me out.
Yes, I got you. I'm right here.
As I mentioned, the X Radio, we are focusing on mental health advocacy and bringing you food for thought. You know what? I'm actually going to play one of Anaya's songs, and we'll come back with Jake Danielson on the line. But let me get to that here. Anaya. This one is called, she is featured on the soundtrack, Spike Lee's, what's the John? She's All That. Oh man, I'm doing it now. I got so many things in my head. I had it all straight. It is. Listen, it's on Netflix. It's a Spike Lee joint. And I need you to go ahead and check that out. She's on the season 2 soundtrack. And this song right here is actually featured on there. It's called I Want You.
The heart never lies, but it tells so much truth.
No, no one knows the road it takes to get here. But all I know, one thing for sure, I wanna leave my mark right here. I'm just trying to face my fears. I'm not giving up, not here. Chasing after moonlight, time was coming for the sunrise. Keep on going 'cause it feels right. Don't postpone it, soar into the big sky. Run until you know you can fly. Run until you know you can fly. Don't you stop running, yeah. Run until you can fly. Run until you can fly. Until you can fly. Run until you can fly. Run until you can fly. Run until you can fly. Until you can fly. Run until you can fly. Carry on. Don't you be discouraged, yeah. Before you know, the winds will blow to let you know, don't worry, your dreams are right there. I'm just trying to face my fears. I'm not giving up right here. I'm not giving up. I ain't giving up. I won't ever lose. See, I was testing the winds. See, you're trying to knock me down. I'ma show you how to move. That's what I'm flying. No mistakes, no denying. How could I be wrong? At these things all along. Chasing that moonlight, time is coming for the sunrise. Keep on going 'cause it feels right. Postpone it, soar into the big sky. Run until you know you can fly. Run until you know you can fly. Don't you stop running, yeah. Run until you can fly. Run until you can fly. Until you can fly. Run until you can fly. Run until you can fly. Run until you can fly. Until you can fly. Run until you can fly. Don't you stop. Don't you stop running, running, yeah.
And we're back. We're back on the X Radio here with myself, the RPX. I got my girlfriend Cognac in the building tonight. She's helping me out. And also we have Jake Danielson on the line with the Weekend Movement here. Actually, they're in Colorado. So, but it is something that they definitely reach out to folks. They have a whole situation, a group chat on Instagram as well. And you can reach them on Instagram. But in the meantime, Jake, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, man. You know, I'm sorry to, it's just the first thing when everyone says Jake, you already know what they say, right? Jake
Yeah,
from State Farm?
Yeah.
That's the first thing I want to say. But Jake from Weekend, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Awesome. You want to tell us a little bit about Weekend Movement?
Basically, it was something me and my friend Osa Henny Amadasu. It was his idea, but I immediately jumped on and helped him push it forward. As someone who struggles with, I'm someone who struggles with extreme depression and anxiety, and it's a really lonely trip when it's something that you struggle with. A lot of people who struggle with it feel really alone and like they have no one to help them and to reach out to. So we just kind of wanted to create a positive movement where people can realize that they're not alone, and it kind of creates a positive environment that other people can reach out to and build a community full of people who struggle but are pushing through their struggles and finding positive ways to deal with it.
That's awesome, because here on the X Radio we promote advocacy, mental health advocacy, and that is completely part of it. And the crazy part is, like, you know, people really feel alone in this situation, but the odds of someone having some sort of mental health issue, and yes, depression and anxiety are included in that, even though a lot of people don't want to say, oh, I have a mental health issue. They don't want to admit that it's a mental health issue. There's a big stigma against that. We're here to break that stigma, bring some normalcy to the situation, because it is such a normal thing. Everybody goes through depression, whether you suffer from a chemical imbalance, or it's something even seasonal depression or situational depression. Depression happens. We get anxiety. We get anxiety about maybe going to a job interview, or starting your first day of school, or, you know, going out on a date. You know, we have those types of feelings. It's definitely something that everyone can like, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? They can relate to, you know?
Yeah.
So it's good that you have a group. What's your group like? What topics do you guys talk about?
We just stay pretty basic right now. We're just kind of working on growth and just like being open and letting people just kind of talk about their own struggles, and just being an outlet that people can like turn to, and that just kind of posting more positivity. Because I think a big thing when you struggle with depression, anxiety, things of that nature, is it's really easy to get extremely negative and extremely down. And
mindset is important.
Yeah, and lose hope, and especially when you're struggling with it by yourself, it's really easy to lose that hope. So we're just trying to promote the positive part, and let it know that even though it's a struggle, it's a struggle. It's extremely hard. We're not trying to like run from the fact that it's something that's extremely difficult.
And it's
extremely hard to deal
different
with.
for everybody too.
Yeah.
Everybody has a different, you know, way of dealing with it, or they have a different level. Like when they say, what's your pain level, 1 to 10? Well, it's kind of the same thing with depression. You know, you might be mildly depressed, or you might have major depression, and that's even a whole nother clinical thing. So I mean, people suffer of all different levels of depression. Today we're here. We have you on. You would like to talk about self-doubt, combating self-doubt, and talk about self-worth. What does that look like, Jake?
I just think, especially like I said, it's something that everyone goes through. But everyone looks in the mirror, and especially when you are aspiring to be something big and trying to do big things, you're going to go through things such as questioning your self-doubt, or having a lot of doubt in yourself, or questioning your worth when you're trying to make it. Because there's going to be a lot of hard days. There's going to be a lot of days where the success feels like it's not coming, or you feel like a failure.
Sure.
And I just think it's important to use. I think it's important, one, to like realize that those are like real feelings, but I think a lot of time we do one of two things: we either bask in it or we run away from it. And sometimes I think we bask in it too long, and then we lose hope and we give up on our dreams or our goals or whatever we're trying to do, because we think we can't accomplish it, because we have a little voice in the back of our health always telling us we'll never be good enough,
right,
or things of that nature.
And a lot of times we don't have that support we need as well. That's one of my big things. I like to support people, because I feel as though, you may not get that support from the people that you desire it from, but there's other people out here that, appreciate you in a way that those people may not, or see that light within you that you don't yourself. So, you kind of gotta open your mindset to be like, okay, well, maybe your mom, or maybe your brother, or your husband, or your somebody within your family that you wish that you had that connection from, that acceptance and whatnot from, you're going to get it somewhere else. You just have to stay positive. And it's hard to have that positive mindset. Like you said, you got that little guy on your shoulder telling you, you ain't crap.
Yeah.
Not today, or, today, you don't look so cute today, or you don't do this, or it's always the negative Nelly. And, that positive mindset really makes the difference.
And I think it's really important to like look at what you surround yourself with.
Yes.
Because when you surround yourself with like negative people and negative things, and like just kind of the world itself is in a negative. Like it's kind of like always seems like people are always down and negative, and it's kind of easy to fall into that when you're always in that. You act like you're gonna act like your environment, the people you're around, the things you're around.
It's true.
So
and people
if you're
don't
always,
take. Go ahead.
if you're always in a negative environment, there's no way you're not going to have negative thoughts, and you're not going to have a positive outlook on things because you're so used to being around. That's all you see every day. It's impossible not to believe that in yourself. So it's just so important, like you said, to if you don't get it from people around you, just finding those people and those like pages on Instagram or like social media. There's so many positive feeds and things of that nature.
You know what?
That you can surround yourself with and give yourself hope and that positive mindset that we're all kind of looking for.
Yeah, for me, a lot of people don't realize, first of all, that the music you listen to, the television you watch, the people you're around, the thoughts that you have in your head, they all affect your mindset. And so if you're listening to negativity, even the news, you listen to negativity, you bring in that negativity into your mind, your body, your spirit. You are, you're cultivating a space in your body for negativity. And it's like, listen, that it doesn't have a home here, and it's okay. If you're going through something, go ahead and have that moment, process it, feel it, go through it. But you can't dwell there, because it's not going to change if you continue to dwell. But it's okay to go through the motions and go through the feelings.
Yeah. I think it's extremely important when you think of self-doubt. Self-worth is a completely different thing, but when it just comes to self-doubt itself, I think it's important to process it, and I like to use it personally.
Mm-hmm.
And because I think it can be a great motivator at the same time.
So how would you implement that?
I just when I think of goals or things that I want to do, in terms of myself, I have a podcast, we have the movement, and obviously we're trying to continue to grow that, and finishing school, things of that nature. Whenever I have doubt or these thoughts and feelings that I'm not gonna make it, or if I
you're falling short in some way.
Work, or I'm falling short. Instead of make me want to give up, I just try to do the opposite and tell myself that even though I'm not making it right now, as long as every time I have feelings of self-doubt, I try to put in some work in some way towards my goals, just to show that I'm combating it and I'm still pushing towards my goals, because every small step is still a step in that direction.
That's true.
And when it comes to doubting yourself, even if in your weakest moments, if you're still pushing for your goals, it just kind of feels I feel like everyone's gonna have weak moments, but it's the people who in those moments of doubt and in those moments of weakness continue to fight for what they want and what they believe in, that end up making it and end up getting what they want, because their feelings and their goals are so strong that even the feelings that they feel about it or about themselves don't stop them from pushing forward in what matters to them.
That's true. That's a good explanation. How and this is kind of open to anybody in here. How or what are good ways to let's talk about combating that self-doubt. What are some positive ways or something that you would suggest to somebody to go ahead and say, listen, you gotta knock this out the park?
I just think it's the way you look at things in terms of if you feel like you're not there, or when it comes to a goal, if you feel like you weren't there, just realize that sometimes you're not there yet.
Right.
And it's okay, even though you're not where you want to be, you can still get there.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the most important thing, is sometimes when we look at our goals, we just think that because we're not there, that's why we want to give up, because we're not there now.
I think it's a thing, especially in this day and time, we want instant gratification.
Yeah, we want it all right now.
Yeah, and
But
so
the
when we
fun
have to
thing
work
to
for
realize-
it, it sometimes is, and if it doesn't work out the way or in the time fashion that we hope it would, it becomes disappointing after a while. And within reason, that's normal. But as like you said, as long as you're continuing to make growth and progress, then you're still doing your job. And sometimes we fall short of our goals, but it's a goal. It's not a it's not a deadline. It's a goal. So continue to work on those goals and be positive about it. That's my personal
Yeah, and then I
thing.
think another way to look at things, like sometimes you do fail, and like you're gonna like on the way to success you're gonna mess up, you're gonna fail.
Sure.
And I think another big thing is like just getting back up and saying like what next.
Yeah.
you know?
What? Yeah.
It's just
How am I
kinda
gonna
like-
fix this?
Yeah, that's a big thing. Like a big problem I used to have is like whenever things would go wrong, I just immediately wanted to quit and like give up. And just because like it just immediately put me in a bad headspace, and I was like, "There's no point, like I'll never figure it out, whatever." But instead, like it's just realizing that it's just a bump in the road,
Right.
and like obviously it's a big like some bumps are really big, like some storms are huge, some are
Sometimes we
small.
make mountains out of molehills, though.
Yeah, sometimes like it's gonna hurt, and like you deserve to be hurt by things that happen. But it's just the point of like letting that hurt happen, and letting it hurt, and then figuring out what you got to do to move on and keep it going.
Cognac had something she wanted to add.
I did. I wanted to piggyback off what Jake said. What I state is, and I put down in my notes. It said, when your mental health is bad, give yourself a break.
Mm-hmm.
Don't make yourself feel guilty. Don't make yourself feel guilty for the things you can't do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you
actually
know.
really love that
Yeah,
saying.
yeah, it is a good one. Because a
yeah,
lot of
'cause I-
times we do put that, it's us being too hard on ourselves.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think like especially me personally, like being an extremely driven person and someone who struggles with like a chemical imbalance, like sometimes I do put too much on myself.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still important to realize that like it's okay to rest and take breaks.
Right.
Sure.
It's okay to give you do have to give yourself that bit of leeway, because you can't drive anywhere with no gas.
Correct.
That's right. That's a good analogy. I like
That's right.
that. You need to put gas in the tank, and the only way you're going to
Yeah.
do that is to rest.
Correct.
Yeah, you can't. Like obviously you can keep grinding, but if
It's
you're
not gonna
putting
be
in work,
quality,
nothing
though.
there, yeah, you're getting nothing out of it.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I think we want it so bad that we forget that we need to take those breaks for ourselves and give ourselves those breaks especially for our mental health, because it's just like people who exercise and work out. You don't work the same body parts every day. You don't work out every single day because your muscles need rest,
Right.
and that's the only way they can grow. And that's the same with your brain.
That
It
is
needs
really
the same
good.
amount of rest.
Mhm.
It needs the same amount of rest. Even you can't work if you're working it all the time. It never has a chance to get better and to grow.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's true. I personally suffer from chronic illness, and so a lot of times I can totally get with what you're saying, because it works that way, not only for my body, but for my mental health as well. And so when you don't take those breaks, or sometimes maybe you're a little just low key. That's my break sometimes. I'm like, okay, I'm still going to come out, but I'm going to be low key. And sometimes people are like, well, what's wrong with you? You cool? Whatever. I'm like, man, I'm cool. I'm just chilling. I'm glad to be out and about, but on the same note, I'm not operating on my highest level. But, like I'm taking that little rest. So I get that. That's a good analogy. We gotta put gas in the tank, yo.
Yes, and I dub it for myself. I too suffer from chronic illness. I wasn't sure if you were aware of that. So part of that is I dub that my me time.
Yeah.
My me time could be reading, writing. I love to write. Music, of course. I'm a fatty. I'm a foodie. So
I'm a fatty. I'm a foodie.
So I may take myself out to a fancy restaurant.
Yeah. Something that makes your mental health. It makes
Correct.
you feel good about yourself.
That's
it gives
right.
you time to yourself to rejuvenate. It gives you, you're not. Maybe you might choose a friend to go with, but
Correct.
you're not out there in the crowd
Right.
busting it up, and it's like a little chill time. But you're still, like you said, you're still getting out. You're
Right.
still doing stuff, but it's a little low key.
Right. I'm the most.
Yeah, I think it's important to realize that like you also need to like make time for you,
Yeah.
and like do things that make you happy. Because sometimes I feel like we get so lost in the rat race, and
It's
that's
so true.
Yeah.
and sometimes I feel like that's why our self-worth goes to bad places or we get really self-doubt is because all we're doing is grinding, and we
it's-
forget what it's like to just feel good and have these good feelings and fun and like just like do things for us, and all we're thinking about is the work, and it gets discouraging, and then you get discouraged with yourself because you haven't felt good in so long because you're not doing anything for yourself and you're working yourself like crazy,
Right.
and it all adds up, and then until you can't handle it.
You crash. And the hard thing is, especially for families, mothers, fathers who have families, they take care of their families. They go and run and work and take care of the house and take care of the kids. And it's like really hard for you to get those breaks for yourself. And there are a couple groups that have been doing like mommy days and, encouraging the men to get together and kind of have like a bonding situation, which is dope within the city. I really encourage community effort in any way because, there's so many cool people out here, man. And like, if you don't get out and meet them, I'm not saying you got to be Joe. I'm not going to say you got to be everybody's friend, but you're going to meet your tribe along the way. And like-minded people with the same happy spirit as you, you're going to find each other. Look at us here at Glockaware. We're one crazy family, but we all really dig each other. We all got each other's back. We want to make sure everyone's cool. It's just a thing, and you're gonna find your tribe along the way, but you got to get out there and do it. Those community efforts are real. You got to find something that makes you happy, even if maybe like Cognac said, take some time and read a book, go take a walk, go take yourself to dinner, go ask a friend to go out to dinner. Just have some time where you can decompress.
Yes,
It's
that's
really important. Yeah,
Definitely is key.
yeah. Jake, we're gonna take a musical break. And then we will come right back and talk about some more cool stuff with you. Jake Danielson from the Weekend Movement. Now let me see here. I gotta do a little fancy switcheroony. We have Anaya Mahogany in the building. She actually showed up. I'm so excited. We were going to get to talk to her at the end of the night, but in the meantime, we're going to play some more tunes. I'm going to screw this up again. I already know it. You can find her on the soundtrack for the Spike Lee's She's Gotta Have It Season 2 soundtrack, available on Spotify, but the show is on Netflix, so go check that out. Who doesn't have Netflix nowadays? Everybody Netflix and chill, right? So we already played I Want You, which was on the soundtrack. You know what? I'm gonna play, I like this song. Hold up. We're gonna play this John and get right back with Jake Danielson from the Weekend Movement here on X Radio.
I really think you're moving too fast. Hold up, hold up. You're so quick to get in my pants. Hold up, hold up. What happened to that good old romance? Hold up, hold up. I'm trying to wind a little slow dance. Hold up, hold up, hold up. Hold up, slow down. You be taking flights, but don't ever leave the ground. Going round in circles, yeah, I know you dizzy now. If I throw it up, would you bring it down? We wait, we patiently wait. Cause we've been on the grind, trying to get the bake. If we don't fuck with you, then we move location. Savage like that 21, never be mistaken. I really think you're moving too fast. Hold up. Hold up, you're so quick to get in my pants. Hold up, hold up. What happened to that good old romance? Hold up, hold up. I'm trying to wind a little slow dance. Hold up, hold up, hold up. Let it be. Say that you a hustler, but drive around on E. Go from that high to Cody, got that in the freeze. If I would, you push it. Where you at? Where you been? Go hard. Know that we go hard. I'm focused all the time, only on my paper. If I don't fuck with you, I'll see you later. Savage like that 21, and I don't do no favors. I really think you're moving too fast. Hold up, hold up. You're so quick to get in my pants. And I'm about to take that ass back to lost and found. Trying to take my time with you. Locked and loaded, cause you have my mind wide open. May I'm not upnoticed. No focus, focus on me. I cannot see you, I gotta focus on me. Focus on me. Hard to believe it, but that's just how it's gonna be.
Versace shades on the door, said my future too bright. I've been too focused, closing in on the light. Trying to throw shade while they envy out of spite. 12 skinnies flipping plenty out of sight. Pretty girl fell in love with my trail side swag. But she got her own mind, she can buy her own bag. Keys to my spirit and the keys to the jag. Tell me about myself when I act like my dad. Now she being stingy with the time that she have. Can't take her out, she ain't cooking at the pad. She gon' only think up all the time she was mad. Fighting for her love, got her loading up again.
Cause you have my mind wide open. May I'm not uploaded. Focus, focus on me. I cannot see you, I gotta focus on me. Focus on me. Hard to believe it, but that's just how it's gonna be.
Guns loaded, heart corroded, barrel open. I'm chosen, left soaking, the doors closing. Only chance to dance with the real devil. Focusing, don't worry if the world love you. Tunnel vision, no television, I'm shape shifting. Transporting my mind's rated with ambition. Don't gotta decide, there's only one decision. Forget about the love and mastermind with all precision. Make sure they see you elevate your every way of living. Time's given to wise souls that's in prison. Cold balls to lost souls that envision. Immortality, fucking salary, where's my rivalry? Lost my wife, I'm like fuck it all, and keep that energy. Fuck the world for 10,000 hours, you all remember me. See me everywhere you go, I haunt you in your memories. Hit me on the radio for every night you play with me.
Cause you have my mind wide open. May I'm not uploaded. Focus, focus on me. I cannot see you, I gotta focus on me. Focus on me. Hard to believe it, but that's just how it's gonna be. Cause you have my mind wide open. May I'm not uploaded. Focus, focus on me.
All right, and we're back on the X Radio. That is our featured artist of the evening, Anaya Mahogany, and I'm so excited because she's in studio right now. So we're going to get to talk to her in a little bit, but we're coming back with Jake Danielson from the We Can Movement. Hey, Jake from We Can.
How's it going?
I can't help myself. I'm sorry. But so we're here today talking about self-doubt, self-worth. What else do you have to tell us about some good tips, something that you could tell the people they can walk away with and implement into their lives?
One thing that I realize is really big for me, just in terms of like, staying on, like, I think self-worth comes a lot from the things that you do and just kind of staying on top of things. And I think when you get really negative in yourself, in your self-worth, and like you're really self-doubt, and like things of depression start to hit, you don't really take care of the little things. Like, you may like not be showering as much, or like not brushing your teeth, or like making your bed.
Right. People overlook that stuff. But
Yeah,
you can
I think
sit in the
it's really
house for a couple days and not do that stuff. Like, legit.
Yeah. And so, like, I think it's really important for me personally just to make sure that I'm always doing the little things.
Yeah.
Because when I make myself do the little things, then I make myself do the stuff that matters that I don't want to. Because if you don't make yourself do the small things, you're never going to
You're
make
never
yourself
going to do the bigger stuff, right?
the bigger stuff. Because you're just wired to always be like, I don't want to.
Right.
Right.
Baby
So, like,
steps.
whenever I look at my bed and it's not made, or, you know, like, I see, like, just, like, even, like, small things, like, there's some trash on the table, or, like, some clothes aren't folded, or, like, laundry isn't done, stuff like that, I'm just like, you gotta do it, you gotta do it.
So in the grand scheme of things, would you legitimately say like staying organized to a certain extent is part of self-worth?
I wouldn't say it's part of it. I just say for me personally, it goes a long way in helping me.
It's like a healthy habit.
Yeah. It's just something that helps me in terms of other parts of my life, and it's just a small thing that's really easy to do.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many things when it comes to like chasing your dreams and following your goals that are really hard.
Right.
Or just like even in terms of like your mental health, it's really hard to fight like suicidal thoughts or depressive thoughts or other things like that. But like organizing things like that, it's just a small thing that's easy, and it's something I know I can always do no matter what.
You know what's hard about since you mentioned suicidal thoughts and things of that nature? You know, a lot of people look healthy.
Mm-hmm.
They act normal.
Right.
And they're suffering with those types of situations out here. And then when something happens, people said, I had no clue.
Yeah, it's exactly how it went for me. I'm extremely healthy individual. I'm really into working out. Really, like I have a really healthy diet, something like that I really take pride in.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always been like a really happy individual, really happy person. Like I always like pride myself off making people laugh. And then I'm someone, I tried to take my own life. I attempted in the summer, and that was when I started to be open about it. Before that, I was never open about what happened with me.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone I knew, like my family, like my friends, everyone was shocked. Was absolutely shocked. They thought like you're the last person I would have ever thought.
Did they take you serious? Because that's not your personality. So did they take you serious when you came out about it?
They did, but it was just because when I came out, it was because I almost like I got to a point where I like attempted suicide, and it almost ended up taking my life. So like it was almost like I don't want to say they had to take me serious.
They had no choice. They saw it.
Yeah.
You know, they saw it. So
yeah, like
it was in their face.
It been more serious, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the sad truth about it is, if I just would have came out and been open, I don't know how it would have been. You know, if I like
Right.
say,
If they
like,
would have
before
believed
things
you.
got that bad. You know, if I know my family would have, but like just in terms, because like I'm a very very blessed individual. I have a very supporting family when it comes to my mental illness, and I know a lot of people don't have that, which is sad because
Right.
of the stigma around it.
Yeah.
But I'm very blessed to have that. And
Congratulations.
yeah, but it's just really sad that for a lot of people, that's like the only way they feel like they can get help. It's either
Go to that
like,
extreme.
yeah, go to because they know if they just that's one of the sad things, and that's why I like to be open about my struggles as a really healthy and happy individual, because I want people to see that like those are the type of people that go through it.
Yeah,
And it's
I'm
not
the
their
same way.
fault.
Like I'm
Yeah.
transparent. I like to speak about it. A lot of people get weirded out by that, but I'm like, listen, this is life, and we all go through it. Life is about the experience,
Right.
and at the end of the day, we all have similar experiences, whether you want to admit it or not. Whether you want to be part of that group, whether you want to be labeled, whether you want to admit it, we all face similar struggles, and you know, it's just something that I feel as though, you know, if I'm having a crappy day, I'm not going to complain about it, but I might talk about it. You know, I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to get those feelings out there. I might talk. Sometimes I'll even get on my live, you know, but like I said, people think you're weird because it's not what they're used to.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with it because it's normal.
Yeah, and that's why another reason we started the movement is because one thing I realized as someone who struggles with it is you can't be open with everyone.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't get it, and that's
Right.
okay. Like that's
That's
fine.
cool. You got your own
That's
tribe.
yeah, and like that's not their fault that they don't understand something that they've never experienced. I've never like obviously I wish people understood more, and like I like them to get it, but like when you haven't experienced something, you don't know what it's like, and I'm not gonna throw hate or be upset with you because
You don't get it.
You can't believe something that I've experienced and you haven't.
Right.
Right.
Because there are, even though your experience is still your own, there are millions of people who've attempted suicide or have suicidal thoughts or are getting help for all kinds of mental illnesses, and people who do want to talk and who want to be there for you want you to reach out and get the help you need, and will sit there and understand you when you talk about what you go through.
Sure.
And I don't think there's anything more comforting in knowing that you're not alone, and like knowing that like there's people out there you can tell, hey, like things are going great, but like I'm still having suicidal thoughts. I don't know what to do, and having people be like, I understand, and that's okay. And I think that's there's really not a more comforting feeling than that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like I said, it's good to have that support, and it's unfortunate that a lot of people don't have it from the people that they wish they had it from, whether it be like the inside family members or their friends or what have you. But as we grow, as we take in that knowledge, we mature as people, we find our tribe along the way, and it might not, you have to be open to that though, because you might just sit there and say, well, this is my family, this is what I got to deal with. No, you know what, this is your life, take charge. And you can decide once you start setting boundaries, you start realizing what's good for you, what's not good for you. You set boundaries. And those people that don't like your boundaries, the reason they don't like them is because you're not on their type of time no more.
Yeah.
So you got to do what's good for you because it's your life. Take control.
And I just think it's really important to realize when it comes to family, like, there's blood, and I get that. Like, and you can do certain things for your blood or whatever, but I think you also build your own family.
Yeah, absolutely.
And those are the people most people end up closest to, because those are the people get them and support them, and those are their real families, are these people. And for some people it is their actual families.
Yeah.
But for a lot of people it's not. It's their friends, it's colleagues, it's other types of people, and that's okay. But like, you want to build something, and that's like what the We Can movement's about, is just building a positive community full of people who want to do good and want to be better even though they do struggle. And it's just kind of like building a family is basically like one big family. That's because it's really hard to struggle and have people not understand or get it.
Yeah.
Or have like your family or like friends that just be like, whatever, like I don't care, and like whatever. And that's what makes things get even worse, is because you think your feelings and your thoughts don't matter.
You're not validated.
Yeah. And then or you're holding them back and you don't get a chance to get them out there, and then they're just overbearing. So when you're able to build a community where you can just be open about the littlest things, even, just saying I had a bad day,
right?
Just getting even that, like dumb, like things that, like, when you struggle with mental illness and you've been through it, you think is dumb, but it's really not. Like,
yeah, it's normal, but you feel like you're being burdensome to some people sometimes. And it's like, I'm sorry, I just need to kind of get this out, and then it's over. And you're cool again, It's like
everything's okay. I think it's really hard to not feel like a burden. I know, like, I have, and like I still do, but like, especially when you build, like when you have people that are really in your corner, you're the exact opposite of a burden. They want to be there for you. They want to help you.
Yeah.
And I think one thing that I realized, and it took one of my good friends, Braden Myers is his name, to help me realize that, is that like sometimes you're going to be not strong, and you're going to be weak, and you're going to need people around you, like positive people, to hold you up.
Sure.
And they're going to put their arms around you. They're going to carry you. They're going to do whatever that you need to do to get you back on your feet. But that's okay, because eventually you're going to be in such a good place, you're going to have to do the same for them.
That's right. That's right. It's a cycle. And I don't want to, we use the word cycle as like a bad thing sometimes. It has a bad connotation to it. But, it's just like, it's like the life cycle, There's birth and there's death. So it's the same thing with, like you said, you rise up and sometimes you fall, and then the next person needs a helping hand and you're there. And it's just, it's a good community effort that you have going on at We Can Movement. Tell folks where they can find you guys on Facebook and Instagram.
You can find us on Instagram at we_can_movement. You can look up the We Can Movement group on Facebook. It's a group. You can go to our website. Which
can people join your group?
Yes. Okay. It just, if you go to our website, which is on, you can find it on our Instagram, or I have a podcast called the Destroying Depression Podcast. You can find that anywhere. Spotify, Apple, wherever podcasts are found. I have all my information in there as well, where you can find the Weekend Movement, the website, or find all my personal stuff. So
Jake, I want to thank you for, first of all, sharing that information with us. Thank you for sharing your personal story with us. It takes courage in a special person to be able to talk about their situation and help others, because not everybody's built to do that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So I salute you, and I want to. You also have a partner in crime with the Weekend Movement.
Yeah, his name is Osaheni Amadasu. He is currently residing in Houston, Texas. He's more of the undercover guy. I kind of do the more open stuff, but without him, this thing, we wouldn't be anywhere close to where we are. And so I'm very thankful for all he does to help out and everything he does in terms of the movement, because we wouldn't be anywhere without him.
Excellent, excellent. Well, everybody check out Weekend Movement, and I want to thank you again, Jake, for being on the X Radio with us tonight, and hopefully we can collab again.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
All right, no problem. We are going to play another tune from our featured artist of this evening, and come right back, speak to her briefly, and then close out with the X Radio here on Glockaware Radio.
Locked and loaded, 'cause you had my mind wide open. May I'm not of notice. Focus on me. How can I see you? I gotta focus on me. No one knows what it takes to get you. But all I know, one thing for sure, I wanna leave my mark right. I'm just trying to face my fears. I'm not giving up, not here. Chasing that moonlight, time was coming for the sunrise. Keep on
on the X Radio with myself, the RPX, my girlfriend Cognac over here, and featured artist of the evening, Anaya Mahogany.
Hello.
You know, I always tell people I had such a fan moment when we met because I was at Voltage at somebody else's event, and they asked me to get on stage, and right before that, she was performing, and she had sent me her music like months before that, and I had been listening to it, and I was like, man, I really dig this John. So I get up on stage, and I'm like, I have this whole fan moment. I'm like, yo, I just have to say, everybody, this girl right here, like, she's got the sauce, like. I love her. She's like, can we please take a picture? I'm like, hell yeah, what?
Yes, I loved it. It was actually the road to the Philly Hip Hop Music Awards showcase. And, like, when I was about to go on, I was, like, mentioned on Instagram. You was like, I came to see this girl. I was like,
I was so,
oh.
it was so dope.
I was a fan of so
we
it
were,
was like a fan
we were fanning, you know?
So I really love your spirit and your vibes, and to know that you shouted me out before I got on the show. And I did really well. I actually got nominated twice last year at the Philly Hip Hop Music Awards. So, like,
Awesome.
it's just been a really, really, like,
Yeah,
like,
and
flying like a bird.
and like I mentioned, you're on the Spike Lee. She's got to have it too. Soundtrack. Like, that was dope.
I
right?
know. I knew about it for about like 6 months, and I couldn't tell nobody. So I'm at work like, oh,
Right, you holding it all inside, like, I'm
can't
so
tell
excited.
nobody, you know, you just signed something. So I'm like, all right, cool. So when it came out, it was such a proud moment to have my first strike on
Absolutely.
my belt as Spike Lee. And
Girl,
my favorite
yeah.
movie is Crooklyn. So it's like,
Yeah. He's definitely one for the culture, and if you don't love Spike, like, right, like,
But I think so mentally he makes you think, even with the wake up.
Yeah.
So it makes you think. It makes you think about everything that each actor or actress is doing or portraying in the movie, whether it's a good intent or a bad intent. It's always like
thought provoking.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
Yeah, girl.
And thank you so much for having me tonight. Like, I love you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Happy belated birthday. I know.
Thank you.
I really wanted to
You know
come
what?
out,
Cognac's
but-
birthday's the day before mine. Isn't that weird?
Thank you.
I know.
Yes,
She's
yes.
the third and I'm the fourth.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
wow.
Weird.
Oh, well, happy belated birthday
That's why
to
we
you
vibe,
guys.
vibe.
I know.
It's a
I know. But we've run out of time. I'm glad you could make it. I'm glad we could feature you tonight because I love your music. And on top of that, like, a couple of those tracks really fit in with what we were talking about tonight. So it was dope. Anyone, you can check the replay out on YouTube. Go to Glockaware. Check out tonight's episode. It'll be up there. I think you can go to the Glockaware.com and check it out now too as well. So make sure you do that. Screw YouTube. Go straight to go to the source. You feel me? Go to Glockaware.com. Check out everything. We got blogs. We got snippets of stuff we do around here. We have all the YouTube stuff. So make sure just go to Glockaware.com, check it out. And of course, next week we'll be here we're talking about just like that. Whoop, in one and out the other. We are doing art therapy next week. So I hope y'all join us for that. That's gonna be dope. Anaya, what's one thing you'd like to say to us tonight before we break out?
When it comes to mental health, you have to be around a certain tribe, but I think it's also reassurance.
Yeah.
So sometimes you need that, and you think it might be so cheesy, like, good job, and you're like,
Right.
That
but
really
you
makes a
need that.
difference.
You're like, oh,
That
snap,
makes
they
a
was
huge
watching
difference.
me.
Yeah.
Watching. So reassurance is always a good thing, and shouting people out. So.
It's so true. Listen, I just had a party, right? And you get ready in the house and you're like, oh yeah, I look cute. And then you're like, do I look cute? I don't know. Is this too
Yeah.
much? Is it good? Am I good? Am I good? And then you walk in and it's like, oh, hey, what's up? And you're like, oh, yeah. I got this. I got this.
yeah.
I got it. So you're right. Self-assurance really is important. You definitely need
saying
that.
that you can do it.
Yeah,
You really
yeah.
can.
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah, you definitely need that. Cognac, thanks for being on tonight. I hope you can come back,
Of course.
girl.
You know my mantra. I love me, you'll love me too.
See?
Cognac.
We love Cognac.
Yeah, everybody loves cognac. Yep.
All right. Took, if you could take us out with one of Anaya's songs. Until next week, check us out on the X Radio. Stay tuned for more cool stuff.
Bye.
There's no one like you. Play